You ever wonder how that package just shows up at your door? Sometimes in just a few hours. It's not magic, not at all. It's actually a science of measurement. Today, we're going to go behind the scenes of modern commerce and look at the numbers that really run the whole show. We're talking about key performance indicators, or KPIs. So, at the heart of any company that ships stuff, there's this classic tug of war, right? On one side, you've got the sales team. Their dream? Perfect service. They want 100% of products in stock ready for same day delivery, even if it's just one tiny item. But then on the other side, you've got the finance team, and their dream is all about minimum cost. They want basically zero inventory tying up cash and trucks that don't even think about leaving until they are packed to the absolute brim. So, who wins? How do you even begin to solve that puzzle? Well, the answer isn't to pick a side. It's all about finding that perfect balance. And that's exactly where a smart, modern KPI system comes into play. Think of it as a bridge between these two completely opposite worlds, perfect service and super low cost. And that bridge, it's really built on two fundamental things. First, you have to measure service quality. That's your external view, basically asking, hey, is our customer happy? But, and this is crucial, at the exact same time, you've got to measure operational efficiency. That's the internal view, asking, okay, how much did it actually cost us to make them that happy? It's only by tracking both of these that a company can really find that sweet spot, the place where customers keep coming back and the business is actually making money. Okay, so let's dive into that first piece, service. How do the absolute giants, we're talking about companies like Amazon and Walmart, really know if their customers are satisfied? Well, they rely on something called the perfect order standard. The key metric here, the one everyone focuses on, is called OTIF. That stands for on time, in full. And you could argue it is the single strictest measure of how well a company keeps its promises. Why? Because it demands absolute perfection in two things. Was it on time, and was it all there? And when I say strict, I mean really strict. The logic behind OTIF is just brutally binary. There's no such thing as partial credit. An order is either 100% perfect or it's a total failure. A big fat zero. Okay, let's make this real. Imagine a client orders 100 laptops. In situation A, the truck pulls up right on time, but it only has 99 of them. Now you might think, hey, 99%? That's an A plus in school. But in the world of OTIF, that order is a complete failure. It gets a zero. It's only in situation B, where all 100 laptops show up on time, that it's a success. And think about it from the customer's side. That one missing laptop isn't just a small mistake. It could mean delaying an entire office from opening. So you're probably thinking the goal has to be a perfect 100%, right? Well, not exactly. The global standard for a truly top-tier company is to keep their OTIF score at 95% or higher. So why not 100? Because the cost of closing that last little 5% gap can be absolutely astronomical. It's just smarter business to be perfect 19 out of 20 times than it is to go bankrupt trying to be perfect 20 out of 20. But of course, the bar is always getting higher. Customer expectations just never stop rising, so the standard is already evolving. We're now seeing a move past OTIF to something even more demanding, the Perfect Order Index, or POI. This adds a whole new layer. It says not only does the product have to be perfect, but all the paperwork that goes with it, invoices, customs forms, you name it, also has to be 100% error-free. All right, so we've got a pretty good handle on how to measure perfect service. But remember that tug of war we talked about at the beginning? It's time to look at the other side of the rope, counting the cost. And the big number on this side is CPO, which stands for cost per order. Think of this as the ultimate litmus test for whether a warehouse is actually profitable. It adds up all the costs, we're talking rent, salaries, forklifts, packing tape, the whole shebang, to figure out what it costs to get one single average order out the door. And the math is actually pretty simple. You just add up all your warehouse costs for, say, a month. Then you divide that big number by the total number of orders you shipped out. And bam, that's your cost per order. So why is this one little number such a huge deal? Let me give you a really simple example. Let's say your company sells a phone case and you make a nice, clean $5 profit on every single one you sell. Sounds good, right? You're making money. But then you run the numbers and you find out your cost per order is actually $7. What does that mean? It means even if you deliver that order perfectly, With a 100% OTIF score, you just lost $2. You are literally paying your customer to take your product away. Realizing that forces a massive shift in how you think about things. A lot of businesses look at a warehouse packed with products and see an asset on the books. But modern logistics, it sees something completely different. That stuff sitting on a shelf isn't an asset. It's frozen capital. It's money that's been pulled out of the bank, just sitting there, not earning interest, and probably losing value every single day it doesn't move. So this constant balancing act between amazing service and low cost, that's the heart of logistics today. But you guessed it, the game is already changing. The future isn't about reacting to problems after they happen. It's about predicting them before they start. And that's where things like AI come in, along with totally new priorities like ESG, which stands for environmental, social, and governance goals. You see, modern efficiency isn't a two-way street anymore. It's more like a three-dimensional puzzle. It's not just about service, which we measure with OTIF, and it's not just about the financial side, which we measure with CPO. Now, the best companies also have to account for their ecological impact, things like measuring the carbon footprint of every single delivery. And the way we even analyze all these numbers is going through a total revolution. The old way? It was all reactive. A manager would get a report at the end of the month that basically said, whoops, our service level was bad last month. By that point, the damage is already done. The new way is all about being proactive. An AI model can look at data in real time and flag a potential delay while the order is still being packed. This lets a manager step in and fix the problem before it ever becomes a problem for the customer. I mean, just think about how powerful that is. Instead of a manager wasting days digging through spreadsheets trying to figure out what went wrong, an AI can just serve up an insight like this instantly. It pinpoints the exact root cause of an issue, which lets you make a surgical fix instead of just constantly running around putting out fires. So at the end of the day, it all comes back to this idea of perfection and perspective. The next time an order you're waiting for shows up a little late, or maybe it has one wrong item in the box, ask yourself, are you thinking in percentages? Like, oh, well, it's 99% right. Or are you starting to think like the world's best logistics companies in terms of perfect orders?